When your best friend decides to take the only thing that means the world to you. This is the story of Aisha and Kemi. Why would my best friend do this to me? What did I do to her? It's all started.
The small town of Ibadan was alive with the hum of the market, the laughter of children, and the whispers of its people. Among them were two inseparable best friends, Aisha and Kemi. They had grown up together, shared their secrets, and leaned on each other through thick and thin. Aisha was the quiet dreamer, always sketching designs for clothes she hoped to sew one day. Kemi, on the other hand, was vibrant and outspoken, with a confidence that could command any room. Though different in temperament, their bond was unshakable, or so it seemed. One day, a stranger arrived in the town. His name was Dapo, a tall, charismatic businessman who had come to expand his family's cocoa trade. With his charming smile and kind heart, he quickly became the talk of the town. Aisha first met Dapo by chance in the market. She had dropped her basket of fabric, and he helped her gather it. Their eyes met, and a spark ignited. Over the weeks, they began to see more of each other. Dapo would visit her father's shop, bringing small gifts and listening to her dreams about fashion design. Kemi noticed the change in her friend. Aisha glowed whenever Dapo was around. "You like him, don't you?" Kemi teased one afternoon as they sat by the river. Aisha blushed. "I think I do. He's different, kind." Kemi laughed. "Well, if he's serious about you, he'd better come to your father." And he did. A few weeks later, Dapo visited Aisha's family with his elders to express his intentions. It was a joyous occasion. Aisha was over the moon, and Kemi was there to celebrate with her, at least on the surface. But deep inside, jealousy burned in Kemi's heart. She had always been the one people noticed, the one admired at town events. For the first time, Aisha was in the spotlight, and it stung. As the wedding preparations began, Kemi couldn't shake her feelings. She told herself it wasn't fair. Aisha didn't deserve someone like Dapo. Fueled by envy, Kemi hatched a plan. One evening, Kemi sought out Dapo alone. She waited for him near the church, her face painted with concern. "Dapo," she began hesitantly, "I need to tell you something about Aisha." "What is it?" Dapo asked, alarmed. "I didn't want to say this, but I can't let you go into this blind. Aisha, she's not as innocent as she seems. She's been seeing someone else behind your back." Dapo's expression darkened. "Are you sure of this, Kemi? This is not a light accusation." "I'm only telling you because I care," Kemi said, feigning sadness. "I couldn't live with myself if I didn't warn you." Dapo thanked her and left, his heart heavy with doubt. The next morning, Dapo broke off the engagement. Aisha was devastated. She begged him to explain, but he refused, his pride and anger blinding him. Word spread quickly, and whispers filled the town. Aisha became the subject of gossip, her reputation tarnished. She confided in Kemi, who comforted her with hollow words while secretly relishing her downfall. But Kemi's plan didn't end there. She began spending more time with Dapo, offering him support and eventually weaving herself into his life. Within months, they were married. At first, Kemi basked in her victory. She had Dapo, the man everyone admired. But her triumph was short-lived. Dapo, though married to Kemi, was never truly at peace. He couldn't forget Aisha's gentleness or the dreams they had shared. Kemi noticed his distance and tried everything to win his love. Lavish meals, expensive gifts, even charm. But nothing worked. Strange things began happening. Kemi would wake up in the middle of the night, haunted by whispers she couldn't place. She'd see Aisha's face in her dreams, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her guilt began to consume her. Aisha's resilience. Meanwhile, Aisha, though heartbroken, found solace in her craft. She poured her pain into her designs, sewing beautiful garments that caught the eye of a wealthy trader. With his help, she started her own fashion business, which flourished beyond her imagination. Her success silenced the gossip, and people began to admire her resilience. But Aisha's heart still ached for Dapo, though she tried to bury those feelings. One fateful night during a town celebration, Kemi couldn't bear the weight of her guilt any longer. She stood before Dapo in their home, her hands trembling. "I have to tell you something," she said, her voice breaking. "What is it, Kemi?" Dapo asked, his patience thin. "I lied," she confessed, tears streaming down her face. "I lied about Aisha. She was never unfaithful. I made it all up because I couldn't stand to see her happy." Dapo stared at her, stunned. His anger erupted like a storm. "Do you know what you've done? You destroyed her reputation, broke her heart, and poisoned our marriage." Kemi sobbed uncontrollably. "I was wrong. I'm sorry. Please forgive me." But Dapo couldn't. He left that night, his mind racing. Dapo sought out Aisha to apologize. By now, Aisha had grown into a confident woman, her success shielding her from the pain of the past. "I don't know if you can ever forgive me," Dapo said, his voice heavy with regret. "I was blinded by lies, but I see the truth now." Aisha looked at him, her heart conflicted. "I forgive you, Dapo, but forgiveness doesn't mean we can go back to what was. I've moved on." Dapo nodded, knowing he had lost her forever. As for Kemi, she remained alone, her betrayal costing her the trust of both her husband and her best friend. She spent the rest of her days trying to make amends, but some wounds never fully heal. And so, the town of Ibadan whispered her story as a cautionary tale. Envy may win you the world, but it will cost you your soul.